Saturday morning in a quiet upscale American suburban neighborhood began like any other. The streets were clean, lawns perfectly trimmed, and sunlight gently covered the houses in a warm glow. My young daughter, a cheerful bald girl with a love for colors, sat near our driveway drawing with chalk on the sidewalk. Her little world was simple art, imagination, and peace. I, a police officer, was preparing for the day while keeping an eye on her from a distance. Everything felt normal, calm, and safe. That calm shifted when the HOA president appeared at the end of the street. A middle-aged blonde woman in a white blazer, holding a clipboard with strict confidence, walked toward our home with a focused expression. She represented rules, structure, and control. As she approached, the atmosphere subtly changed. My daughter continued drawing, unaware of what was coming. While I noticed the woman's serious posture and prepared to understand the situation before reacting, the HOA woman stopped near the sidewalk and began speaking in a formal tone. She pointed toward the chalk drawings and explained that neighborhood appearance guidelines needed to be followed. My daughter looked up silently, confused but calm, still holding her chalk. The situation was not aggressive, but it carried a heavy emotional tension. It was clear that this was about interpretation of rules rather than any real harm. I arrived shortly after. Stepping into the situation in my police uniform, my presence immediately shifted attention. I did not interrupt. Instead, I observed both sides carefully. My daughter looked at me with quiet relief, as if my presence alone reassured her. The HOA woman maintained her professional stance, continuing to explain her concerns in a controlled manner, while I took a moment to assess everything without rushing to judgment. The sidewalk drawings were simple, colorful chalk shapes, harmless and temporary. There was nothing that posed any issue to safety or property. My daughter remained seated quietly, holding her chalk, unsure of what to do. She was not afraid, but she was clearly affected by the seriousness of the adults around her. I stayed close to her side, ensuring she felt safe while I listened further. As the conversation continued, the HOA president reviewed her notes and stood firm on her interpretation of the rules. She believed consistency in neighborhood appearance was important. I acknowledged her perspective calmly. There was no need for conflict. My focus remained on understanding the situation fully while keeping the environment respectful and controlled. The moment stretched into a quiet pause where everyone remained still. The suburban street around us stayed peaceful, with soft sunlight and gentle wind moving through the trees. My daughter slowly resumed drawing, encouraged by the calm tone of the situation. Her confidence returned as she saw that no one was reacting harshly. The tension that had briefly formed began to soften naturally. The HOA woman's expression also softened slightly as she observed the harmless nature of the drawings more closely. Her clipboard lowered a bit, and her tone became more neutral. It was clear that the situation was shifting from strict enforcement toward understanding. I continued listening carefully, ensuring every perspective was acknowledged without escalation. My daughter continued drawing peacefully, her colorful chalk art brightening the sidewalk again. The emotional pressure faded, replaced by calm communication. The HOA president nodded occasionally, showing signs of acceptance of the situation's harmless nature. The environment returned to balance, where rules and creativity could exist, without conflict. In the end, the situation resolved peacefully through communication and patience. My daughter smiled again, continuing her drawings without worry. The HOA president maintained her professional composure but no longer viewed the situation as a problem. The neighborhood returned to its calm state, sunlight glowing over the quiet streets. What started as tension turned into understanding, and what could have escalated became a moment of clarity and resolution as everything settled. I stood beside my daughter, watching her happily draw again. That simple moment reminded me that not every situation needs conflict. Sometimes awareness and calm judgment are enough. The street remained peaceful, and life continued normally in the neighborhood.